Former Attorney General Bill Barr has called for a new leader of the Republican Party. Did you read the piece he had in the New York Post the other day? OMFG. It was in that piece that it's been referred to now as a blistering rebuke of the man he so faithfully served. William Barr, you fucking hypocrite, you're just as bad as Herschel Walker. But now he's saying that former president asshole, quote, will burn the whole house down, end quote. You know, I'm reminded of something. I don't know why Republicans decided to ignore this. Well, I do know why, because they've been using Trump the same way he used them. But years ago, when Trump said, if I ever run for president, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines, if I ever run for president, I'll run as a Republican because they are the stupidest or the easiest to fool or whatever it was he said. And it was a very clear slap in the face of Republicans. Trump is not a Republican. He never was. He's not a Democrat either. He's a fucking gangster. He doesn't give a shit about politics. Come on. Except to the degree to which he can use those political ideas to forward his little filthy spider-like life. But anyway, Barr said in that op-ed in the Post, I think it was published on Monday, he said, quote, unless the rest of the party goes along with him, he will burn the whole house down by leading his people, and he put his people in quotes, out of the GOP. And then Barr added this, quote, Trump's willingness to destroy the party if he does not get his way is not based on principle. Oh, really? Oh, really, Willie? But on his own supreme narcissism. His egoism makes him unable to think of a political party as anything but an extension of himself, a cult of personality, end quote. Oh, Bill Barr, why don't you go sit in a corner and slowly remove all your fingers or cut off your toes or do something constructive like that, because you served this prick for how long, Mr. Barr? What's your motivation, pal? All of a sudden, you're becoming a very ardent anti-Trumper. What's the deal, Barr? Don't you know some of these evangelicals now will try to hunt you down? Oh, my God. Now, Barr's comments, of course, he waited until after the 2022 midterms here, where these Christian demons were expecting a red wave. I think what they meant by that was blood. I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. And the red wave never materialized. Oh, the Christian demons got control of the house. But what are they going to do with it? They can't do shit. Mainly because the Democrats have retained control and have expanded their lead or their control of the Senate, especially after this punk fucker Herschel Walker goes back to whatever he was doing before Donald Trump said, boy, how'd you like to be senator? So, and the House now taken over by these crazy fuckers in the so-called Republican Party, think they're going to do all kinds of dirty shit when they get control. Well, okay, go ahead, have fun. But the final margin of Republican terrorist control of the House was significantly smaller than they had been predicting, and very smaller than I had been predicting. And I've already done my mea culpas about that. I should have learned my lesson a long time ago. Don't ever make predictions about political outcomes, because you're going to be wrong. One is going to be wrong more often than one is right. And boy, did I learn that this time. And I'm glad I did. I was so glad to see the results of the midterm election. Like several slaps across my punkin face. And I was just like, yes, hit me again. To know that it didn't happen. Blake Masters, Mehmet Oz, Kerry Lake, on and on and on and on. But I bought into the bullshit. I admit it. Now, back to Willie Barr. He became a vocal critic of the orange vomit after he left the Vomits administration back in December 2020. And he had resigned as Attorney General after he contradicted the orange vomit's bullshit claims of election fraud. And Willie the Barr has also tried to remove himself from Trump and the rest of the Christian Demon Party, where it concerns the subject of the Mar-A-Lago documents case. You know, Trump needs to go to fucking prison for that one. It may not be a direct line between his inciting insurrection and a riot and an attempt to overthrow the government with his fucking speech on January 6th. But they got him by the gonads on this one, on the Mar-A-Lago case. And they also have him on the case here in Fulton County, Georgia. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? Now, Willie the Barr, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that in your ear. Willie, oh God, come on, Mike. Willie the Barr has said that he was skeptical of Trump's claims that Trump, had declassified those documents that Trump stole and took with him to his nest at the Winter Palace, Mar-A-Lago. He's skeptical, right? And that the orange vomit had actually declassified them. Now, Trump, of course, has said many times that he was just using his mental powers to declassify them by thinking about them. But Barr said there was, his words, no justification for taking the documents from the White House. And he also, Barr was a vocal critic of a Florida court run by a Trump whore in the decision to appoint a special master in the case. Delay, 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 deny, delay, deny, deny, delay, delay. And I think that judge who ordered the special master is about to be slapped to the fucking floor and told, you do a trick like that again, and we're going to remove you as a judge. I don't know who would make that statement, but the Court of Appeals here in the South is about to make that decision about that judge. What was her name? I forget her name. It doesn't matter. She's not a judge. She's a Trump whore. And you don't have to be a woman to be a Trump whore. Bill Barr is a Trump whore who, I guess, all of a sudden decided to let go of his whorish behavior. Now, there's no offense against sex workers. Please. I hope you understand that. Barr also said, quote, it's painfully clear from his track record in both the 2020 election and the 2022 midterms that Donald Trump is neither capable of forging this winning coalition nor delivering the decisive and durable victory required, end quote. Oh, you think not, Bill? Huh? Willie? Mr. Barr? Asshole? You think, huh? Now, right? Yeah. And in an interview last Friday, not the op-ed or the essay that he wrote for the New York Post, but in an interview, Barr added that the Justice Department under Merrick Garland likely has, quote, a basis for legitimately indicting Trump over his handling of the sensitive documents, end quote. Woo! Yeah, well, I certainly agree with that. I know you do too. And Willie the Barr added this. He said, quote, indeed, among the current crop of potential nominees for the presidency in 2024, Trump is the person least able to unite the party and the one most likely to lose the general election. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know, these people who sucked around Trump during his time of destruction, where it concerned the American democracy, the American country, who have now come public with their denunciation of this son of a bitch. make me about as sick as the people who continue to support him. These hypocritical bastards. You know, while Trump was in power, while the orange vomit was the president of the United States, these people were willing to suck around him like flies around a dung heap. Because, you know, they were at the center of power, working for the most powerful human being on the face of the earth, Donald Jesus Trump. So why give up that position, right? Well, and now that the orange vomit has become, I don't know, what is the orange vomit? And God, I just hate to keep talking about him, and I do apologize. But now that he has become the leader of all leaders, the capo di tutti capi, or however that's pronounced, now that Trump has become the dear leader, the leader of all leaders, the Christian Atlas astride the world, leading the Christians straight into hell. Now some of these people who were so ardent in their support of him are trying to jump ship, like William Barr. Oh, well, listen, can I take back everything that I did, everything that I said, all that time I was his attorney general, Please, please. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.